Hello again, I'm Stephen Wells, the host of the Motoring Weekly podcast for the Australian historic road and racing community. This is episode 179. I went out to Sydney Motorsport Park to the Historic Sports and Racing Car Association's Summer Festival, the first day of the two-day event. There was a wide variety of machines out there, from Austin Moore's Minis to several replicas, a Jaguar XJ13, a Ferrari 206 SP and a Ford GT40. In between there were Monaros, Toranas, a wide range of Fords and Holdens, along with Formula Fords and Formula Vs. The day started with qualifying for the 9 categories, with racing starting around 11:30 a.m. And over the 2 days there will be 32 different races, ranging from scratch, which is a typical race, through super sprints, regularity, and as one handicap race. In between catching up with old faces that I know from a range of car clubs, watching the racing and learning about some of the heavily modified cars, I managed to get in 5 interviews, starting with Wayne Wilson, the president of the HSRCA. I'm with Wayne Wilson, the president of the HSRCA, at another event here at Eastern Creek. Wayne, you've got your 2 Brabhams here again as normal. What's the weekend looking like? It's a bit changeable weather at the moment.
I'm sure the weather will be fine and much better than it was at Sandown a few weeks ago for the poor people on the Saturday. No, it's just a bit windy today, which is exciting, but we are having qualifying this morning, of course, for all of the 9 classes, and we had over 200 entries at close-off, and across 9 categories. The feature grids this weekend are Group N, the tin tops, Mustangs and Minis and the like, Cortinas, and the Group S, which are sports cars, S for sports cars, MGs, Porsches, Sunbeams, and more Porsches, which are having a long race, a double race tomorrow morning with 2 drivers. They have to come in and change driver, which is a very popular thing amongst Group S. We also have sports sedans, which many of which have come from South Australia, which are heavily modified cars from the era, which have things like V8 engines in Cortinas and the like, which are spectacular. They're great noise, great colour. They don't have racing clutch starts. They operate as sprints, and they go out in time, and it's the fastest time that is best in that category. And it'll be a full weekend.
Okay, and this evening you've got the club AGM here at the Alpha Hotel. How is the HSRCA doing as a whole?
Well, it's challenging times for historic racing, indeed for modern racing, we hear. The numbers are down in many categories of all sorts of racing. It's expensive. People are being affected by the cost of living, and in our category many of the owners and drivers are getting a little older, and therefore some of them pull out. We're honouring on Saturday night at our dinner the 3 of our competitors in open wheelers from the 60s who have been racing, some of them since the 60s, and who've hung up their helmets this year because of age. And we'd like to see, if their cars change hands, we'd like to see them come back out again. We've got a couple of new entrants this weekend who have been first time out, in one of them in a Brabham, and a Kaditcha sports car from Queensland that we've not seen before, with a Cosworth engine. So it's a challenge to get more people involved. The club itself has bought a Formula V car based on the Volkswagen components, which we're offering to a young woman who will apply to drive that next year. We're restoring it at our cost, and it's to encourage young people, particularly young women in this case, to become involved in historic racing.
Which is a great thing. I did a dinner at the Royal Automobile Club back in, I think it was 2016 or so, with two young drivers. One of them's actually seems to be doing a lot of corporate work at the moment, and I haven't seen her out on track much recently, but it's an important thing to be able to get more younger folk involved to be able to enjoy the cars and the spectacle.
Indeed. I was young when I started, and you've just got to find a car for sale and take the big step and do it. Next year we're having 3 events the HSRCA will promote, and one of them is going to feature the 100th anniversary of Jack Brabham's birth and the 60th anniversary since he won his 3rd world title in 1966. We're going to have a mini celebration for when the minis filled 9 of the first 10 places at Bathurst in 1966. And we hope to get some drivers of the period, but we also hope to get in total 60 minis. So we will be approaching every Group N and mini club around to get racing minis, which we'll have a separate race for. But we hope to get lots of minis from the road going club to be here in the paddock.
And you did that with the Formula V's this year with the 60th anniversary, and you got 60 there, so I hope you achieve it with the minis as well.
And that's the aim, and in fact the minis will be at the same place at One Raceway down near Goulburn, and we're also hosting the Formula V Nationals this year, so they come from every state, including the modern category for Formula V, so there'll be 2 or 3 different races on the track for Formula Vs, and similarly there might be a lot of cars, so that's the aim. We've got to focus on some celebrations and get people to remember the good times when open wheelers were at the front, but then so were the Alan Moffat passed away the other day, the Mustangs and the Falcons and Monaros and XU1 Tiranas that ran at Bathurst, and there's a few of those here this weekend. So that's very good for the nostalgia.
So you've got 2 days here with a lot of different races, regularity, sprints and the normal racing. It should be a good event this weekend, hopefully.
That's our aim. We hope we get lots of spectators coming out. We've advertised it on social media and widely. And in fact, I was on the ABC this morning talking about it on the way out here. So they're usually good for us if you can get on the ABC. They talk about what's happening in Sydney. Bring your children, bring your grandchildren. It's quite a spectacle, and it only occurs twice a year at Sydney. They're very expensive events to put on, out here these days compared to the old days. There's no volunteers and things. We have doctors and ambulances, and this is a very exotic track, but high-level track. But and the competitors seem to love it. We tried to put on a friendly and forgiving sort of event, and everyone respects the cars and respects each other.
It is a good event. I like coming down here to watch the guys racing. So for any listener who's available on Sunday, come down and watch the racing. You won't be disappointed.
Indeed.
Thank you, Wayne. Much appreciated.
Mid-morning I met with Mick Heppleston, who was running a 1954 Holden FJ Sports Sedan with the Historic Sports Sedans Group. And they were invited to attend the meeting and were running 19 cars in the sports sedan category.
I'm at Eastern Creek with Mick and his 1954 FJ Holden, competing today at the HSRCA. Mick, you look very relaxed at the moment.
Yeah, we went out and had a little bit of a problem with the car in the first session. We had the shifter come apart in it, but we're ready to go out now and have another crack at it and see how we go.
That's good. And how long have you been racing this particular car?
This car I've been racing for 25 years. Yeah.
And were you racing anything else before that?
The same car for the 25 years previous was actually a drag car.
Okay, so it's been converted to track use as opposed to out-and-out speed.
Yes, now it's got a different front end in it, so it steers a bit nicer, and it's a circuit car now, yes.
Are you from New South Wales, or are you one of the many crew that have come up from interstate?
We're in New South Wales, but we're from Goulburn. We're about an hour and 3/4 away from here.
And do you do any of the races down at one raceway? This one is a bit out of the way for you?
No, it's actually very local, one raceway. It's only 35 kilometres from our house. We have raced there a couple of times with this car and with another stock car that I have.
And why did you switch from drag racing to circuit racing?
Well, the circuit racing, you can just about run out of petrol in a day. If you go drag racing, you spend the whole weekend and you might do 5 8-second passes in the car, and that's the whole weekend.
Yep.
So it's a matter of seat time, I think, is more convenient, for the outlay of money. Yeah.
And so you've run this for what, close to 50 years in different categories. So you obviously know the car extremely well. What's your racing been like over the last 25 years?
With the circuit car?
Yeah.
We're slowly learning it. I think we keep modifying the car, so you've got to keep up with what you're doing, and the car seems to be going a little bit quicker every time we do something with it. It's just an evolution thing. You're never happy with what you've got.
I think most race guys who've got cars would say the same thing. You know, every time they're out on track, they're thinking about something else that they could do to make an improvement along the way. So that's probably a natural thought pattern for you.
Yeah.
And do you do any other form of motorsport?
Well, just stock car racing, and we've been invited to the Historics to race with them with a different car. So, yeah, they're the two.
And what's stock car racing like here?
I tell you who could answer that better is this young fella sitting over here, because he actually runs Stock Cars Australia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I might interview you next then about stock car racing.
Yeah, well, we've just come back from stock car racing in South Australia and Calder Park. We've just done 2 races in the last 6 weeks over there. Yeah, it's really good stock car racing.
And what do you run in that?
I've got a little fiberglass American Ute called an Oz truck. Runs a 383 small block Chev. High 500 horsepower. It only weighs 1,200 kilos. Yep. It's a pretty fast little thing. Yeah.
So it sounds like you're spending your time enjoying yourself on the track.
Yeah, well, I haven't got many years left to race, I don't think. I'm getting a bit long in the tooth for it, and we'll do it while we can.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, good luck today. Thanks, Mick. It's a beautiful car. Always good to see some of the older cars out on track. Enjoy the next 2 days.
Thanks very much for that.
Mick suggested I talk with Zach O'Hara about the Stock Car Australia National Series, something I'd never heard of, so it was great to understand this level of competition. Zach was helping Mick with the FJ over the weekend.
I'm with Zach O'Hara. We just spoke with Mick, and he mentioned I should talk to Zach about stock car racing, which is something that I haven't really covered in Australia since I've been here. Been interested in other things. So Zach, tell me the basis of stock car racing.
It's a very grassroots, club level type racing. We average fields between 12 to 18 cars, and they consist of what's left over of the Bob Jane era, older NAS cars and Oz cars, the odd HQ, and of course some imported stuff from the States.
Yeah. And what sort of motors are in the cars?
Many of them are small block Chev powered in various sizes,
yeah.
350, some up to 383, and then you've got the cup cars, which are the real deal 358 dry sump screamers.
Okay. And how long has it been running for in Australia?
The category was started by Brian Walden, who's an old sports sedan touring car racer. He kicked it off in 2013 and handed it over to myself in 2018.
Yeah. Okay, so you've been running it now, 7 years. What sort of circuits? So it sounded like you've been down in interstate South Australia, so you're covering a lot of the different circuits?
Mainly an East Coast series. We have been up to QR once, but we mainly hang around Wakefield, or one raceway now, Calder Park Raceway, Winton, and of course here, Sydney Motorsport Park.
Yeah. And so the cars are they're heavily modified vehicles. You said they came out of the Bob Jane environment. What was he doing?
Bob ran a track called the Thunderdome that's sadly no longer anymore, and there's a lot of leftover junk, so that's what we're having fun with.
I don't know whether you could call it junk, but at least you're keeping the things alive. And one of the things about this podcast is trying to talk to people who are keeping older kit alive, because there's historical value in those vehicles, because they came from an age which was completely different today, and it's good to see them still being used in their native landscape.
Yeah, well, we try and keep the cars that do have history in their period colours. We've got some Gene Cook stuff, some Kim James stuff, Jim Richards, that sort of, it's got to look as it did in the day.
And so what's a typical race weekend look like?
We try and keep to a 2-day event. Some are keen and practice on the Friday, but 2 days is enough.
Okay. And where can people find more info? Because, so I'm a newbie to stock car racing here, so there will be others like me that would like to know a bit more info about the series.
Probably the quickest way is Facebook.
Okay.
Just get on there and Stock Cars Australia National Series, and you'll see the fun we have.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. I'll have that up on one of my links on the podcast, because that's important to get people to come and have a look, and hopefully they'll come and watch you guys race.
Yeah, thanks again.
All right, thanks, Zach. Thanks for your time.
No worries.
I'll put a Facebook link in the profile for the Stock Car series, as it looks like it's great racing. And next up I spoke with David Kippist, who was running a 3-litre 1970 Ford Capri in the regularity events. I think it's now lunchtime at Eastern Creek. There's another race about to start, but I'm sitting in the shade with David Kippist, who's got a rather nice Ford Capri in front of me. David, thanks for your time. Tell me a little bit about the car first.
Well, the car's a 1970 Ford Capri V6 3-litre. It was built up originally, I think, as a Targa tarmac rally car. So it's got a lot of old school technology built into the car. It's got adjustable shock absorbers, but they're pretty old school. So it's not the fastest thing out on the track, but it's good fun.
Yep. And how long have you had it?
I've had the car probably about 12, 13 years.
Okay.
I bought it off a mate of mine who I went to school with many years ago, and he bought it. He was part of the Australian Rally Club, so he bought it off a chap in the rally fraternity. Yeah.
Did you convert it for track use, or was it already converted?
It was sort of halfway there. I put some different rear springs on the back and some adjustable rear shocks. But other than that, put a race seat and full harness seat belts in it. The roll cage, which is in it, was part of the rally setup. Just not really changed all that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a Group N?
No, I just run in regularity, which is, it wouldn't be eligible to run in Group N in its current form.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to change quite a few things to...
So basically put part of it back to original for Group N?
Yeah, well, it's got +1 wheels, which I'm not sure. I think you've got to run original size wheels. The roll cage wouldn't be suitable for current regs. It's got to be a welded-in roll cage, and so quite a bit of money you would need to spend to put it back, to put it on to NC type.
And how long have you been racing in general?
I started racing in my mum's Mini Deluxe many years ago, probably about when I was 18 or 19. So I used to have a Cooper S back in the 70s, early 80s. I ran that. I would drive that out to the track. I couldn't afford 4 sets of slicks, so I put 2 sets of slicks on the front and just ran the standard road tyres on the back. So that was always good fun. I ran a few events. I ran the Australian Hill Climb Championship in that car at Bathurst, which is where you run backwards up through the S's, and won the class in it originally, which was quite a surprise. Then I bought a Clubman, a Puma Clubman sports car. Ran that at Amaroo, Oran Park, and then sold that, and then had a family, so dropped out of motor racing. And then about 12 years ago, I thought, when I bought the Capri, I thought I'd get back into it for a bit.
Tell me about the Puma, because it's not a car that I've heard about.
It was an Australian-built Clubman. There's a few of them around. I haven't seen any out here for many years, but yeah, I think there was about 4 or 5 built by, I'm not sure who built them. It was built as a 15, so it was an older school Clubman, which were the 1500. So it had a 4-cylinder Escort motor in it, not cross-flow ahead, so it was before those. So yeah, that was good fun. Amaroo was a good circuit, but unfortunately that's obviously gone. But so I've had a few different cars, but yeah.
That sounds good. And then this one you've been running for a number of years. I said earlier before we started the interview that my father had one of these as a road car just to use up some spare parts, but my brother used to probably abuse it somewhat, going out in the evenings. They were fun cars. What is it like on the track?
Well, it's okay. They're not the greatest handling cars in the world. The V6 engine is very heavy, so it tends to a lot of weight hanging over the front wheels, which tends to make them understeer quite a bit. So you need to sort of drive it with the throttle to try and keep the back coming around to meet the front without over correcting it too much. So yeah, they're not a particularly wonderful car. This one isn't from a handling point of view, but it's still good fun.
Yeah. Well, that's the main thing. You're out here enjoying a reasonably hot Saturday and Sunday, enjoying a vehicle with a load of other folk. From a regularity perspective, how do you find that as a competition format?
I think it's a great format. The guys are all pretty friendly. They'll help you out if you need a hand. No one's out racing for sheep stations. They're all out to have a bit of fun, and they're usually fairly respectful of the cars. They don't want to see any bent cars. So unlike racing, where rubbing is racing sometimes, you tend not to get that too much in regularity.
Yeah. I know a few of the guys in regularity, and I'm always fascinated by that concept, because it's kind of old school in setting a time and trying to keep to it.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it sounds. I mean, the real good drivers, the F1s, seem to be able to do it within a tenth of a second consistently. Yeah. And the best way, I suppose, is to drive the car almost effectively on the limit. Yeah. It sounds easy, you just set a time and drive slow, but that's not really the point of it. The idea is to try and set a time that's competitive with the car, and try and be as consistent as possible. Yeah. So.
And how many laps is that event?
It varies. I think the one this afternoon is 6 laps, and we've got 3 runs tomorrow, 2 of 6 and 1 of 8. So yeah.
So there's a reasonable amount of time on the track to be able to get sort of comfortable with it, and then to be trying to map that time that you set in qualifying.
Yes, so you nominate your time based on your qualifying or your practice laps, and then the idea is to just try and be consistent, but obviously you tend to go a bit quicker as the days progress, as you get a bit more comfortable, and so you've got to always look at your times and adjust also for the track condition. If you get a bit of rain, obviously that slows things down, so you've got to adjust your times accordingly.
And does the heat today affect it?
Well, this car always runs a little hot, as does the driver. But so far it's been okay. So luckily we've got a bit of a breeze, which is keeping it down a little bit. Yeah.
Well, good luck this afternoon and tomorrow. It'll be, if it's like this again tomorrow, it should be fun. Hopefully a few more people will come out tomorrow and enjoy the spectacle of historic racing.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah.
Thanks, David.
Thanks. Thanks, Steve.
My final interview was with Artemis Kazangas, who brought along his 1980 Mazda RX-7, which, as you'll find out, has had 4 lives, starting out as a road car before several power plant swaps and becoming a full race car. Artemis was running in the Super Sprint events. So I'm now with Artemis and a very interesting RX-7. Artemis, tell me about the car, first of all.
Well, it's a 1980 Mazda RX-7 Series 1. It's specifically built for super sprint or time attack racing. So we're after just the quickest lap time we can put down. And I've entered in numerous national events. Mainly it's been World Time Attack Challenge, which I entered in 18, 19, 22 and 23. And it's something that we really enjoy taking out, and it's definitely a work in progress and something we constantly improve.
I've been talking to a number of other guys today who say exactly the same thing. Every time they go out, they actually find something else that they think about to improve on what they're doing, whether it's with them or with the car itself. So this is just completely set up for racing. Did you buy it as is, or have you done all that work yourself?
I've done it all myself. I bought it as a rolling shell to begin with, and this car actually has a quite interesting history. I bought it and it came basically in pieces. Before I bought it, it was a road registered car that was running on LPG actually, and I, at the time, was studying mechatronics engineering at university, and I needed a thesis project, so I converted it to electric powered. And then after a few years, after completing my degree, finishing the project, I wanted to get into motorsport, so I put the rotary back into it and built a time attack car.
Right.
It's been a labour of love and a constant journey of improving it to what it is now. And we've made, actually before this event, we've made quite a few considerable upgrades. Namely, we're trying a new diff setup for this event. We've moved from a Torsen diff to a 1.5 weight diff for a bit better traction, and we've improved the suspension travel in the rear end to give us a bit more traction.
Yeah. So interesting that it had LPG for a while. What was that like, and was it through the rotary it had LPG?
Yeah, that's correct. The previous owner had it running on LPG with the 13B as well.
That's unbelievable. I didn't think a rotary would be able to cope with that.
Yeah, I think it was running, and I think it was running well enough for probably a cruiser or like a street car.
Yeah.
But I think you would have found at the limits it probably was lacking a fair bit.
And then when you converted it to electric, strip everything out, did you have to balance the car for batteries and bits and pieces?
Yeah, so in the electric car scene, I guess, and at the time, like taking into consideration, this was 2009, 2010, so battery technology wasn't really where it is now. They were a lot heavier. A prime consideration when converting a car was battery placement, so that the car would still handle. So that was definitely a big consideration.
Yeah. And now you've put it back to the original motor running on. Is it running on standard gas, or does it run a different race fuel?
So it's the 13B turbo, which is out of a later series that's in it now. It's out of a Series 5 RX-7, and we have it running on a blend of ethanol and petrol, so it's E85.
Yep.
And we find that although there is drawbacks to that fuel, because it's a dedicated track car, the benefits far outweigh the drawbacks. Yeah. So what E85 does for us is it allows us to advance the timing a lot more to get more power out of the engine, and then also at the same time it has a cooling effect on the engine.
Right. Okay. And talk about the time attack. work that you did as well. Why did you get into that? And you said you've done it, what, 3 or 4 times?
Yeah, we've entered Time Attack 4 times. Time Attack for me, I began following the sport as a spectator before I got into racing. As far back as 2014, I was attending events here at Eastern Creek, and yeah, at some point I got the bug and I wanted to get involved, and I thought, why not give it a go and see what I can do.
Yeah. And you thoroughly enjoyed that, presumably, because you kept doing it.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a very enjoyable event. It's also there's a great atmosphere around the paddock when that's on. There's a lot of buzz and there's a lot of I guess hype around the event, and a lot of cool cars as well, which is the main reason I guess why I got the bug.
Yeah. And is it similar to regularities? Talk about the structure of the Time Attack. How does it sort of progress through the event?
So Time Attack, the way I describe it, because a lot of people sort of ask what's Time Attack, it's the best way I can describe it is it's a drag race around a circuit. So you've got your everything dialed up to the maximum to get that one lap. Yeah. And basically after that 1 or 2 laps, the car's kind of had it, because everything's overheating and everything's dialed in that high that it's, that's about all you can do. But the next closest category would probably be Super Sprint, which is, they're also, they in a similar way, they run in 15-minute sessions, and they try and put down a lap time, then come into the pits. Yeah,
okay. And from here today and tomorrow, how has it been running for you on these? Certainly today, how did you find the track and also the car?
So far today, I've had a couple of sort of flying laps. We only got the qualifying into now, and then we're going to go out for the second run in a moment. We did have a warning on the dash just for the oil pressure just dipped a little bit. Not too concerned about it. It didn't dip to a very low level. It's more that we kind of had our, I think we had our low warning level set a bit too high. Right. We're being a bit conservative with that. It basically allowed me to get 2 laps in before I had to come in because engine protection came on. Yeah. And we're just going to give it a crack again when we go out.
Good. And are you going to become a regular at these events, or is this something that you'll do and then move on to a different category?
I quite like the event that HSRCA is putting on. I think I'm going to be coming to a lot more of these. Yeah. This is the first year I'm actually with the club as well, and this is the first event that I've been with this club. I really like the atmosphere, talking to the other drivers. It's also a social thing as well. That's quite kind of what I want to do with my hobby as well. I want to have fun and talk to people and meet new people as well.
Yep. I do find, I've known a lot of people who've been members of the club for many years, and I joined last year as I was getting back into doing the podcasting, but I found the same thing. There's that mix of, people from a social perspective all talking about the cars and bits and pieces, but you come to an event like this and you just see absolutely everything from Minis right the way up to Mercedes here, and obviously you've got the Mazda in the middle.
Yeah, that's right. The paddock is just full of really wonderful cars. I mean, even in my garage, we've got a Daytona Mazda with a 13B ahead of us, and then we've got we've got a car that's got a F1 Cosworth engine in it beside us. It's pretty crazy when you think about it.
It is. It is. Thank you for your time. Good luck this afternoon and tomorrow. It's been wonderful to find out about the car. I'll look out for it when you're on the track a little later this afternoon. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to talk with you.
Thanks.
To finish off, the HSRCA have 3 main race meetings next year in June, September and November. However, they also have a number of social events throughout the year as well. Now, if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast through your favourite player, whether it is Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible or Samsung.
and, of course, YouTube, and you'll get the episodes delivered as they're published. You can also subscribe to the website, motoringweekly.com.au, and you'll also get notified when a new episode is uploaded, and you can listen to all the episodes there if you don't use a podcast app. And we've also have the podcast delivered through Mixcloud, which, like Spotify, was originally designed for music and now hosts radio programs and podcasts. If you like classic rock music, then once you've listened to Motoring Weekly, find White Rabbit Radio, which is our sister radio program. We do classic cars and classic rock. I'm Stephen Wells, and you've listened to Motoring Weekly, the podcast for the Australian historic road and racing community.